He said, "Mom, did you hear Crystal's missing? They can't find her."
The time she disappeared, we had a hurricane hitting us, Hurricane Harvey.
She was nowhere to be found, and we knew she wouldn't leave her kids.
It looked like it was just a normal family. This hit people in Baytown hard.
Then everybody started to panic.
There was a lot of moving parts on her personal life.
Love interests in different parts of the country.
I just had a really bad feeling.
We didn't know if we could get to her, if she was being held hostage, if she was being held against her will, if she was hurt somewhere, if she was stranded in her car.
Where do you start looking? What do you do?
Little by little, things started coming out. She was begging him, please stop doing this.
A storm is coming.
Just got the latest 11 a.m. advisory for Harvey, and boy, it doesn't look good. Let me show you what's going on right now. 65-mile-per-hour winds.
On Friday, August 25th, 2017, a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico is headed ashore, with thousands in its path, including those in the Houston area.
As Harvey gained strength, residents along the Texas coast made the choice to evacuate or stay and hunker down.
Crystal McDowell is one of those residents trying to decide whether to ride out the storm at home or head out of town with her two kids.
We were headed to Dallas because my aunt's elderly, and we were getting them away from the storm. We were texting back and forth, and she said she may come up there with us.
At some point that morning, Crystal stopped responding to messages.
Someone who's always on their phone, I think that it is a little strange that she wasn't replying.
My son called in and he said, "Mom, did you hear Crystal's missing? They can't find her." And my first response was like, whatever, she's not missing. She's not gonna stay during the storm. She's got, free flights. She's out of here. He goes, "No, Mom, she's missing. They cannot find her."
She's known as a go-getter and dedicated mom.
Crystal was a very positive person.
Crystal is living in a brand new home with her two children, a son, 8, and a daughter, 5, and Steve McDowell, her husband of about 10 years.
My dad and my stepmom introduced Steve and Crystal together. My dad has grown up with Steve his whole life, and then Crystal is my stepmom's cousin. Their relationship seemed really good. They traveled, they had a lot of fun together.
On her Twitter account, Crystal says she's married to her best friend, who is the best daddy.
He actually said to me, he said, if it was up to me, I would be Mr. Mom and just stay home.
He made sure her family come first.
The pictures of a happy family don't tell the whole story.
It started the first year they were married, and they were married for about 10 years. I believe she filed for divorce, or she had threatened. I don't know if she went through with it then or not, but I know she told me she was going to.
The couple split several times over their 10-year marriage, but Crystal always returned to Steve.
And we were talking in the salon one day, and she just says, "Aunt Cindy, I do not want my kids to be without parents." So she chose to stay. She basically sacrificed her own happiness so that the kids would have a normal life.
By 2017, her confidants say Crystal was ready to start a new life without Steve McDowell. Crystal filed for divorce in February of that year, and the divorce was final in June. But they continued to live together that summer while a condo Crystal owned was being renovated.
I think a lot of people just assumed that they were still married. They weren't aware that she had already been divorced with Steve.
As Hurricane Harvey barreled towards the Texas coast, Crystal McDowell disappeared.
Hundreds of rescues and harrowing scenes in and around Houston as the floodwaters rise.
After 2 days of heavy rain, the family gets a big break. The missing mom's car has been spotted in a flooded parking lot outside of Motel 6.
The water was getting high. You can see the license plate right under the line of the car. And I was just like, holy crap, that's the car.
And it was a nice car. It was a Mercedes-Benz with the keys laying on the center console. We truly believe that it was put there for the intention to be stolen, but it didn't get stolen.
Deputies start canvassing businesses near the motel, looking for any sign of Crystal or someone who might have been driving her car.
We started collecting video from that entire intersection there at Interstate 10.
In cases like this, you're looking at boyfriends, husbands, close family members, and we start ruling them out and talking to them and then finding out who also may be involved in this.
Crystal's social circle is extensive and complicated.
She was a real estate agent, but she, prior to that, was a flight attendant. And so she had friends and coworkers all over the country. She also had love interests that, as we were discovering through the investigation, in different parts of the country.
She was bisexual. While they were their 10-year marriage, not only did she have relationships with females, she had relationships with other males.
Just widens the net. We really looked at everyone.
So there was a lot of moving parts on her personal life, which could have led to somebody doing something to her. You know, a jilted lover, a mad ex-wife, or a mad wife or girlfriend.
The Texas Rangers and Sheriff's Department zero in on the men closest to Crystal. There's also friction between some investigators and some of Crystal's relatives who aren't happy with the slow pace of the investigation.
It's been since Saturday when I originally filed the complaint. I don't understand why no one's doing anything.
Jeff, I understand the frustration and the sort of the desperate feeling that you've got. This is effectively your daughter.
I've called the Sheriff's Department on their cell phones twice in the last hour and a half, and I've received no call back. This is continuous through this whole process.
He had a tendency to disrupt the investigation by trying to do his own thing instead of working with us. Jeff and some of his co-workers and friends weren't very forthcoming with us that they had already been in Crystal's home. She had a townhome that was being remodeled.
And then you hire a private investigator who's just trampling all over everything as well. If anything, everybody was in the way.
Her ex-husband Steve can't be eliminated as a potential suspect.
He was willing to speak, which I found kind of different because throughout the whole process of them looking for Crystal, he never helped. He wasn't out there helping search. He wasn't the one that called her in missing. He never once called the Sheriff's Department, hey, where are we at on this? Do we have any new news? He wasn't that guy.